Ever wondered which towns in America have a dark history of racism? Today we dive into a journey through time and space, exploring 10 such places that have been marked by significant racial bias. This journey is not about judgment, but about understanding, learning, and growing from these past mistakes. We believe that by shedding light on these histories, we can inspire change for a more harmonious future. So, buckle up, history enthusiasts and seekers of truth. Stay tuned as we begin our countdown. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Vor Texas. Nestled in the southeastern part of the Lone Star State, Vor has a history that is, unfortunately, marred by racial tension. This town, once known as a Sundown Town, was infamous for its unwelcoming attitude towards people of color. Sundown Towns were places where non-whites were advised to leave after sunset, a chilling practice that persisted well into the 20th century. Vor's reputation has been shaped by these historical prejudices. Its past is marked by incidents of racial violence and exclusion, and it was once a stronghold for the Ku Klux Klan. Today, the town continues to grapple with this legacy of racism. Although efforts have been made to address this issue, the shadow of its past still lingers, influencing the town's present-day reputation. This town certainly has a dark past, but let's move on to the next one on our list. At number 9, we find Cicero, Illinois. Nestled in Cook County, Cicero has a long and tumultuous history of racial tension. The town's reputation for racism dates back to the mid-20th century, when it became a hub for white flight, a sociological phenomenon where white residents moved from racially mixed urban regions to more racially homogeneous suburban or exurban regions. In the years that followed, Cicero's predominantly white population fought to maintain this status quo. This struggle culminated in several racially charged incidents, including the infamous Cicero race riot of 1951, where a mob of around 4,000 white residents attacked an apartment building that housed a single African-American family. These events, along with others, have cemented Cicero's place in this list. Despite efforts to foster integration and inclusivity in recent years, the town's past remains a haunting reminder of the deep-seated racial tension that once held sway. A troubling history indeed, but our countdown continues. Next up, at number 8, is Forsyth County, Georgia. A place that was once a hotbed of racial tension, Forsyth County has a history that's difficult to ignore. Back in the early 20th century, the county was virtually all white, a result of a violent racial cleansing that occurred in 1919. Today, the county is more diverse, but the shadows of its past still linger. In the 80s, civil rights marches were met with hostility, and it took the intervention of the National Guard to maintain peace. Fast forward to today, the county has made strides towards diversity, but the echoes of its past are still heard. The racial makeup of Forsyth County has changed significantly over the years, but it's important to remember its history and understand the impact that it has had on the people who live there. This is a town that has come a long way, but still has a journey to travel. Let's delve deeper into our list with the next town. Coming in at number 7 is Harrison, Arkansas. Now, this small town nestled in the Ozark Mountains may seem idyllic at first glance, but Harrison has a notorious reputation that belies its scenic beauty. Over the years, it has been a hotbed of racial tension. The town has seen its fair share of incidents that have marred its image and cast a shadow over its residents. From public displays of racially charged propaganda to being the national headquarters of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, the town's history is riddled with unsettling events. Despite the efforts of some residents to combat this image, the town's reputation remains tarnished. The lingering specter of these past incidents continues to haunt Harrison, creating a divide that the town struggles to bridge. Another town with a troubled past, but our list isn't over yet. So, let's keep moving forward as we delve deeper into the heart of America's racial history. We hope you're finding this journey enlightening. It's important to remember that understanding our past is a crucial step towards shaping a better future. If you're finding value in our content, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement doesn't just support us, it helps spread awareness and fosters crucial dialogue around these important issues. We appreciate your involvement in this journey. Now, let's continue with our countdown. Halfway through our countdown, at number 6, we have Sundown Towns. These towns scattered across America earned their name for an unwritten rule that persisted for decades. People of color had to leave town by sundown. The concept of sundown towns is not confined to a specific locality but rather an unsettling pattern that has woven itself into the fabric of our nation. These towns became a symbol of racial segregation, a grim testament to the division that once, and in some instances, still pervades our society. The echoes of these towns are still felt today, with their legacy influencing residential patterns, racial perceptions, and social dynamics. The term Sundown Town may seem like a relic of a bygone era, but the truth is, its impact is far from antiquated. The residue of this racial segregation continues to taint the ideal of equality and unity that America strives to uphold. A grim part of American history indeed. Let's continue. Now let's move on to the 5th, 4th, and 3rd towns on our list. Starting at number 5, we find ourselves in a town that, despite its picturesque scenery, holds a disheartening past. This town's history is marred by a deeply ingrained culture of racial discrimination that dates back to its founding. Although efforts have been made in recent years to address these issues, the echoes of that past are still palpable, reminding us that the journey towards equality is far from over. Moving on to the 4th town on our list, we encounter a different yet equally troubling narrative. This town holds a legacy of institutional racism that has shaped its societal structures and norms. From segregating public spaces to implementing discriminatory policies, the town's history is a stark reminder of the systemic nature of racism. However, the town's current efforts to right its wrongs stand testament to the possibility of change, even in the face of deeply rooted prejudices. Finally, we come to our 3rd town, which presents us with a haunting tale of racial violence. The town's history is stained with numerous incidents of racially motivated brutality, leaving an indelible mark on its collective memory. The scars of this past continue to impact the town's social fabric, fostering a culture of fear and mistrust. Yet, amidst the shadows, we also find stories of resilience and hope, of individuals and communities standing against the tide, striving for justice and unity. These 3 towns, each with their distinct narratives, remind us of the pervasive nature of racism and its lasting impact on communities. They serve as a sobering reminder of the work that still needs to be done to confront and dismantle these deeply entrenched biases. But don't lose heart just yet. As we delve deeper, the histories become more shocking. Stay with us as we continue this journey, bearing witness to the past, understanding the present, and envisioning a future where such histories are not repeated. Coming in at number 2 on our list is a town where the history of racism has left a lasting imprint. This town, with its picturesque streets and seemingly idyllic community life, conceals a darker past marred by racial prejudice and discrimination. Delving into the archives, we uncover stories of segregation, the denial of fundamental rights, and instances of racial violence that have scarred the town's history. This past, however, is not just a grim reflection in the rearview mirror. It continues to influence the town's present environment. We see this in the divisions that still exist within the community, the disparities in opportunities and resources, and the lingering sense of unease among certain sections of the population. These are the echoes of a troubled past that still reverberate in the present. The town's struggle with its history of racism serves as a stark reminder of the long-lasting effects of prejudice and discrimination. Now we've reached the town at the top of our list. And now, the town with the most notorious history of racism in America is... Welcome to our number 1 spot. This town's history is marred by racial tension and inequality, a legacy that's left an indelible mark on its identity. It's a place where segregation laws once ruled, where racial violence was rampant, and where prejudice was a part of everyday life. This town's history is a stark reminder of the struggle for civil rights and the enduring fight against racism. However, this past isn't just a distant memory, it's a reality that continues to shape the town's present, influencing everything from its socioeconomic dynamics to its cultural fabric. It's a place where racial disparities still exist, where discrimination persists, and where the fight for equality is far from over. A chilling history indeed, but it's crucial to remember these histories to understand the need for change. There you have it, the top 10 towns with a history of racism in America. We've journeyed through a country's past, exploring towns marked by bigotry, from the East Coast to the West, from the North to the South. We've delved into their histories, unique yet sadly similar, each a testament to a time we must strive not to repeat. From the segregationist policies of the last town we visited to the racially motivated violence in another, these places are stark reminders of a darker side of our history. They represent chapters that cannot be erased, but must be acknowledged and learned from. We've uncovered the painful past, not to dwell in it, but to understand, to learn, and to grow. For it is only through acknowledging our history, however uncomfortable it may be, that we can hope to build a more inclusive and equitable future. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember, understanding the past is the first step towards a better future.